The repair bay smelled of ionized metal and hydraulic fluid, a scent Eli Trent had grown to love over his 15 years working the docks of Station Kepler 9. He'd fixed everything from mining rigs to diplomatic shuttles, but the vessel before him now was something different entirely. It was sleek, obsidian black, and humming with a frequency that made his teeth ache. The pilot, Sarath, stood nearby, watching him with eyes that never seemed to blink. The alien was humanoid enough, 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, but everything about them seemed just slightly wrong. Their movements were too fluid, their breathing too measured, and that mask, that featureless silver mask covering their entire face. "The starboard thruster is damaged," Sarath said, their voice emanating from somewhere behind the mask with an electronic rasp. "You will repair it." Eli crouched beside the thruster assembly, running his scanner over the damaged components. "Yeah, I can fix this. Might take a few hours, though." "What happened out there?" "A collision." "Nothing more." The human nodded, already working. He'd learned not to pry too much with alien clients. Some species were chatty, others preferred silence. Sarath definitely fell into the latter category. 3 hours later, Eli was elbow-deep in the ship's internal systems when he noticed it, a secondary power drain leading directly to Sarath's mask. It wasn't just decorative. It was plugged into the ship's life support system. "Hey, Sarath," Eli called out. "Your mask is drawing power from the ship." "That's unusual. Is it medical equipment?" The alien's posture stiffened. "Do not concern yourself with it. Focus on the repairs." But Eli's curiosity was already piqued. He'd seen environmental suits, breathing apparatus, neural interfaces, but nothing quite like this. The power consumption was enormous, far more than any life support device should need. "I'm just saying, if it's critical to your survival, you might want a backup power source. Station life support can be unreliable, and do not touch it." Sarath's voice had dropped to something dangerous. Eli raised his hands in surrender. All right. Just trying to help." He returned to his work, but his mind kept wandering back to that mask. What was it hiding? A disfigurement? A species-specific requirement? Or something else entirely? As he finished the final thruster calibration, Sarath suddenly swayed, gripping the bulkhead for support. The lights on their mask flickered. "You okay?" Eli asked, concern overriding caution. "Power. Fluctuation." Sarath gasped. "The mask's battery. Failing." Without thinking, Eli grabbed his portable generator. "Here, let me." "No!" Sarath lunged backward, but their movements were sluggish, weakening. Don't take it off, please. You don't understand what..." The mask's lights went dark. Sarath collapsed. Eli's mechanic instincts took over. If the mask was life support, removing it could be fatal. But if it had no power anyway, maybe he could reboot it, reconnect it to a power source. His hands moved to the mask's connection points. "I'm sorry," he muttered, "but I can't let you die on my watch." The mask's magnetic seals released with a hiss, and Eli Trent saw what lay beneath. At first, his brain couldn't process it. The face wasn't Sarath's, it was dozens of faces, hundreds maybe, shifting and writhing beneath translucent skin. Human faces, alien faces, all screaming silently, their features melting into one another like wax. Eyes opened and closed at random intervals across the surface. Mouths formed and disappeared, trying desperately to speak. Eli stumbled backward, dropping the mask. His stomach heaved. What are you?" Sarath's body convulsed. When they spoke, their voice came from everywhere and nowhere, a chorus of the absorbed. "We are collective, we are many. We are..." The faces twisted in agony. "We are damned." Horror crawled up Eli's spine, but beneath it, something else stirred. That stubborn human need to understand, to help. Even when confronted with the impossible. "The mask," he said, forcing steadiness into his voice. "It suppresses them. Keeps you cohesive?" "Yes." The word came out as a dozen whispers. "An accident. A merger experiment gone wrong. We became this. The mask is our prison and our salvation. It quiets the voices. It gives us singular purpose." Eli looked at the mask in his hands, then at the writhing horror before him. Every instinct screamed at him to run, to call station security, to purge this thing into the void. But he was human, and humans had a peculiar relationship with monsters. "How long has it been?" he asked quietly. 73 cycles. "We have traveled far, searching, hoping, but there is no cure for what we are." Eli picked up the mask and his generator. His hands shook, but he connected the power supply anyway. Maybe not, he said, moving closer despite every nerve ending telling him to flee. But I can make sure you don't lose yourself completely. He fitted the mask back onto Serath's face. The magnetic seals engaged. Power flowed. The screaming faces began to fade, smoothing into stillness beneath the silver surface. Serath stood slowly, their forms solidifying, becoming singular again. Why? They asked, their voice once more electronic and steady. Why help us? You saw what we are. Eli wiped his sweating palms on his coveralls and met those unblinking eyes. Because that's what we do. Humans. We see something broken, something in pain, and we try to fix it. Even when it terrifies us. Especially then. He walked to his workbench and pulled up a schematic. Now sit down. If that mask is all that's keeping you together, we're going to upgrade its systems, add redundancies, and make sure it never fails again. I don't care how long it takes. Serath stood motionless for a long moment. Then slowly they lowered themselves into the work chair. You are a strange species, they said softly. Eli picked up his tools and grinned, though it felt fragile on his face. Yeah, we get that a lot. As he began his work, he didn't notice his hands had finally stopped shaking. Because in the end, that's what humanity did best. They looked horror in the face and chose compassion anyway, even when it should have been impossible.